to ride shotgun with us. I want to bring John McAfee, famous computer programmer and inventor of McAfee software, and worked at NASA before that. And he joins us, and he's put some tweets out and pointed out this really is a conspiracy against my free speech. And top law firms, I've talked to 4 different ones, and I've got some ready to sue, antitrust for free. I've got others who've written reports to the president that we're getting to the president, social media deplatforming, the federal action that's being prepared, and, of course, expanding on that. We've got the presidential commission and all the things, the executive orders that are being prepared. So, but we're 75 days out from this, John McAfee. I mean, this is the stuff you read about in history books in Nazi Germany or Soviet Russia, in my view. I mean, is this not the big move? Well, they're not even just saying I'm deplatformed now. They're saying don't have Jones on or we'll deplatform you. I mean, this is the unpersoning. This is the Chinese global social score they now admit's coming here. I mean, this is unbelievable.
Well, first of all, Alex, I like your beard. I didn't even know you had one. But on one of the prior shows that I did with you, I pointed out that this was likely to happen, that the social media companies would end up being the conservators of truth, as they define it, and be the mass censors. But here's the issue: if somebody says Chinese fairies have flown into the ears of all the congressmen and they're now controlling them, how the hell do you know that's not true? Please God, who's going to say that's absolutely not true? I've seen stranger things. So I stood up here. I lost, by the way, 15,000 followers for standing up for you. But I do stand up for my friends, Alex.
Well, you were standing up for yourself, too.
Oh, I do stand up for me. I promise you that.
But I'm saying if we don't all stand together on the First Amendment, even Bill Maher's got that right, we're going to lose everything.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And again, I warned about this. I've warned lots of people. Trust me, social media platforms are going to be the censors, the definers of truth and what's acceptable for us to look at, listen to, and read. It's insane.
They admit that it's the social engineering arms, and Jack Dorsey admits that. He goes, we believe our social engineering will make Alex Jones behave and stop saying kill people. But I didn't say that. So they even base it on a lie.
Well, nothing's going to make you behave, nor me, Alex. I know that for a fact. But listen, we do have to stand together. I have a suggestion for you. If you want to stick it to the man, why don't you start your own cryptocurrency, the Alex Jones coin? You have a radical following. I promise you, every one of your followers are going to buy it, and start your own financial system within America. Stick it to them now.
Well, I'll tell you this. I've stayed out of the cryptocurrencies because I didn't want to bet on the wrong thing or tell people to. But now they've succeeded in becoming the new dominant thing out there. This has really got to freak the globalists out.
Well, yeah, and it should. The banks, the Fed, and how our government's going to collect taxes if you can't tell what a person's income was, what they spent, what they received. And with cryptocurrency, especially the privacy coins, the government cannot tell.
Well, we'll talk about that some in the next segment. But let me just get to this, and Owen Shore is riding shotgun with us. Why do you think they're accelerating it all now? Because it seems like a big risky thing. The president says he's going to take action against it. How do you think the president should take action against it? Because I'm not bragging. We've already gotten things into his hands, as the media now knows, with horror. And I'm not going to get into the details of that, but he is absolutely now receiving our research. We have top law firms getting him information. So, I mean, what do you, as a smart guy, think we should do?
Well, here's the issue. People are sensing that Trump is weakening, which is absolutely not true. I've never seen a stronger president. And they're taking every opportunity to diss what they view is the Trump policies, the Trump beliefs, the right wing, conservatism, the whole thing. And I think by making an example of you, and they'll get around to making an example of me. I'm no less vocal than you. I just have fewer followers. I have 800,000 to worry about. And they'll get around to everybody that does not conform to the political correct view of what life is, what our government is, and how happy we all are.
I tell you, though, it's a bold move for them to launch this. Why do you think they picked me first? I think it's because they demonized me first. They thought they could misrepresent what I said and done, but I think it's blown up in their face. And I'm not just saying that to put perfume or lipstick on a pig. I mean, 10 times the traffic, 5 times people recognize me in the street, support flooding in, though the enemy attacks are intensifying, so support's more critical than ever. I mean, what do you think they're going to do next?
Well, you asked why they picked you. Well, Jesus, Alex, you know why. You are the most in-your-face commentator in America. Thank God. You know, you don't back down. You tell things as you see it. You don't give a shit what people think about what you said. And people hate that. You are the epitome of everything that the left-wing Clinton culture hates about America. And oddly enough, you do have a mixed bag of followers. People either hate you or they love you, Alex. Same with me, except more people hate me, I think. But yeah, of course you. Who else? You are the one person in America who goes out and says, "Here it is, in your effing face. Here it is." Of course you.
Well, in a way, I'm honored, but I just love the listeners supporting us through this. But it's been a hell of a fight. I want to come back and get Owen Schroyer's take on this and your take, and just let's get into cryptocurrency because, man, it is now the biggest thing in the world. And they say, oh, it's just all digital. Well, their stuff's all digital. So how do you think this shakes out as well? And then we have coming up later in the next hour, Pastor Rodney Howard, who's formerly from South Africa, to talk about the mass extermination of whites. And our liberal media telling Trump, hey, let the whites stay there and be killed. They deserve it. Whites deserve to die. That's liberal, didn't you know? We'll be right back. Stay with us. Yes, white people don't know what it's like to be poor, and Molly Tibbetts doesn't know what it's like when an illegal alien kills her. You think, oh, well, that's a sick joke. No, it's not a sick joke. You've got Pocahontas. You've got MSNBC hosts saying, oh, big deal. This lady isn't important. So she got kidnapped, tortured, and raped and murdered. The real things, the children and being separated from their parents, it's all made up. It's been going on for 50 years. The little girl didn't even get separated from her mother. But here's what they hate. CNN says it's racist to show the illegal alien, but we'll show it, being led in handcuffs in after killing the woman. So it's totally sick. Now, John McAfee is our guest here, riding shotgun some of the next hour, covering the waterfront. I wanted to play a clip here of the president yesterday and get his take on this, pointing out that the reason they want to impeach him and the reason they're pushing all this is because he's popular, the country's coming back somewhat, and they want to change the subject of that. And I agree. And then he said he thinks that this morning on Fox and Friends that if they were able to remove him, it'd probably tank the economy. We're getting some of the best numbers ever seen. I want to get his take, A, on what the president said, and B, what he thinks will happen to the economy if they try to take him out, and what type of backlash that'll stir in the American people, because this is confirmed from Jack Posobiec now, what Stone got from high-level sources. They're preparing to indict Donald Trump Jr. So let's go ahead and go to that clip of El Presidente.
I guess it says something like high crimes and all. I don't know how you can impeach somebody who's done a great job. I'll tell you what, if I ever got impeached, I think the market would crash. I think everybody would be very poor.
And then there's some other clips where he points out when he was in another rally what's unfolding there. So John McAfee, what do you think of that?
Well, absolutely, the market would crash. We would be in a world of hurt because if he's impeached, what comes next? People dislike Trump because he is successful. He does not bow down to convention. He doesn't listen to anybody's advice except his own. In other words, he is his own man with his own self-confidence, and he acts on it. People hate that. People hate confident, successful people. And Trump is the epitome of a confident, successful person. Now, they're not going to impeach him. It can't possibly succeed. And pray to God we get some sanity back in this country. I mean, if you look at our social media, for example, they say, well, we're private companies. You avoided our policies. Aren't there things called monopolies anymore? I mean, is not YouTube sort of a monopoly? Is not Facebook the monopoly of tweets, of short messages? Please God. I mean, let's get real here. They do have an obligation to not just their users, but to the country, to our culture, to try to toe the line of balance, and that's not happening. So they're not going to succeed. They're not going to succeed. And I have full confidence in Trump. Number one, he's much smarter than people gave him credit for. He's more devious, thank God. And he's a very experienced person in negotiating, in business, in finance. It's exactly what we need.
I agree with you. Adding this point, we've had top law firms look at this, but the companies have argued this themselves, and the left is all over the news saying, these are the electronic commons. We must shut Jones down from the commons. He's too dangerous. Not because I'm a bad person, but because it's too popular, as Tucker Carlson said. But coming up next hour, I want to go over this with you some. This is from a top law firm. We'll be announcing some things very, very soon. But social media deplatforming, federal action laid out to the president, and there's larger indexes that are going to be going to the president. Presidential commission, executive orders, the ways to take action. It's all right here in these reports. So I'm going to be going over all of this more with you some of the next hour. Plus, you've been a top executive and a businessman, a smart guy. You can give us some of your angles and takes. But John McAfee's here, obviously. Owen Schroyer, you just got deplatformed off your own YouTube channel because I came on for 5 minutes. I mean, this is 1,000,000,000,000% absolutely criminal. And they say it's because we showed violent things. No, Media Matters reported it, and it's because I was on there. So it shows how they can't even get their propaganda lined up. What do you think this is all ahead of?
Well, it's either... Go ahead, John.
Okay, no, I was going to say that is not violence the core of news? I mean, do you want to watch... People don't watch things, mom making apple pies. No, they like to see road accidents and mayhem and massacres. This is just human nature. So good God, to say that, oh, you're offering people what the news offers them or what popular magazines offer. Bullshit. Why pick on you? Again, because you are in their face. You are a threat, Alex. End of story.
Well, I've confirmed that they're mad that I'm pointing out that Google and Apple have moved to China and are helping censor there and literally helping arrest people and have them killed. So it shows they have absolutely no morals. They're totally ruthless, that Apple owns and leases the worst factories in China at Foxconn on record. And that also I was pointing out that they're planting a false flag against themselves and the media to blame us. I mean, clearly, they're upset about what's being said here. So everybody should know that means the answers to taking them on is being covered by myself and my guest and others. Owen, your comments on that.
Well, I think John McAfee makes an excellent point. Because think about what happened on September 11, 2001. All eyes were on television news all day long. That's what everyone was watching, millions of people. Like John said, violence, big event, tragedy. Everyone goes to the television news. So if they're getting ready to pull some big false flag 9/11 style event, they can't have Alex Jones on air. They can't have InfoWars on air. They can't have these alternative news sources on air, on YouTube, on the internet, because everyone's going to go there now, and they're not going to go turn on the TV to hear what the official narrative is because they've been lied to by the TV so much. So now they have to cut off. It's like, imagine you're going down a road and you've got all these exits for alternative exits and different things. They're shutting all the exits down. They're shutting every exit down, and they're forcing everyone to go down the same pipeline on the official narrative. So it would make sense if they're going to pull some big event, they have to cut out the new news that has the biggest audience, like the Alex Jones Show, Mark Dice YouTube channel, because they're not going to go along with the official narrative or at least question it or provide other elements and other facts and other historical references. And they can't control the news that way. They can't control the narrative that way. So it would make sense if there's some big false flag event coming up like a 9/11, they want all the eyes on Fox, CNN, MSNBC, who are going to toe the official narrative no matter what, never question it. Alex Jones, who may question it and provide some other historical analysis, he cannot exist. We have to shut him down before that event. We have to control the narrative.
And they're using the hype of things I didn't say about Sandy Hook to say, oh, look, it's hurtful to question a big public event like 9/11 or Gulf of Tonkin or babies in incubators. Don't do it. I think that's one of the most important things we've said here in a long time. On target, Owen Schroyer. John McAfee, your take on that.
Well, it actually kind of blew me away with that suggestion. That had not occurred to me, that maybe there is a false flag coming up. We know for a fact. I mean, I have good friends within the CIA and have confided in me. Yes, of course, the CIA does create false flags of enormous scope and scale. So we know it happens, and it would make sense. It would make total sense. Of course, why didn't they ban me? Because I'm as loud as you. I'm just older. I choose my words more carefully.
Wow. Stay right there, both of you. I want you to ride shotgun into the next hour. We have Jack Posobiec of Naval Intelligence. I was never going to say that on air until they blew his cover, but he's a big patriot with the president, some high-level folks, I'll just tell you that. And we had Roger Stone with the breaking news that they're planning to indict Donald Trump Jr. very, very soon. Posobiec has very high-level sources. I'll just leave it at that. And he is upset and has confirmed that that is indeed what is about to happen very, very soon. So tomorrow's news today. We'll be back. Listen, folks, when the big event comes, you got to tell your friends, your family, via email, via phone call. However, come to Infowars.com. Get the live feeds when the big event comes. Whether it's an attempted assassination of Trump, a nuke going off, planes in the buildings, whatever they're planning, they've been bringing jihadis in and protecting them. McAfee helped expose a huge plan that Obama had down in Belize. I didn't really believe it. And then later it came out, it was all confirmed with Hezbollah. So, I want to talk to him about that because Hezbollah's promised sleeper cells to attack Trump in the U.S. He broke that here 4 years ago in studio. And then later it came out in federal documents that it was all true. I mean, I thought he escaped and all that incredible stuff, and it was amazing. But he's like, well, it's because Hezbollah was after me and Hamas and Ryerson. And then it later all turned out to be true. So unbelievable. Of course, if you wanted a jihad attack, do it through Belize because they hand out passports. So bottom line, spread the word. This is a huge time to be alive. It's all coming together. We need financial support. We have incredible products. $19.95 bone broth. I got a huge shipment of it. We're selling it at near cost. It's an amazing product. Infowarsstore.com, InfowarsLife.com. Get in there, buy some T-shirts. Knockouts, 40% off the amazing sleep aid. New Ultimate Female Force, 50% off out of the gates. Real Red Pill Plus, now with energy, 50% off. These are incredible deals. Thank you for the support. Jack Posobiec of One American News, great patriots, going to be joining us in the next segment. He's got some really, really bad news that he's able to confirm. Roger Stone has great sources and first broke it yesterday. This is some really serious news. So at Jack Posobiec on Twitter, he's coming up next segment. John McAfee obviously has been warning on this show for at least 5 years since he got out of Belize about Hezbollah sleeper cells in the U.S. Now the head of their Iranian military has come out and said that indeed they have sleeper cells that came in through Belize and other areas. And so there's that. And he also warned that social media networks will become the main censors. They now admit they are. Even the Wall Street Journal, the social media deplatform, in-game, self-censorship. Wall Street Journal, digital deplatforming become the censors. So when digital platforms become the censors, Americans don't trust the media for a good reason. It seems, I'm going to get into the whole Hezbollah thing with you, John, because there's so many subjects, but it seems like even mainstream media is now turning on itself, starting with Tucker Carlson doing the right thing, and then even other folks like Bill Maher and saying, now the president, this is really dangerous what's happened to Alex Jones. So I want to cover that first. Why do you think they're starting to admit, hey, this is dangerous?
Well, because it's obvious. I mean, to me, it's obvious. What could be more dangerous than to have a social media company decide what's true, Alex? I mean, fuck me. I mean, I have seen some strange things in this life, and when people tell me the weirdest stuff, I go, but maybe it's true. I don't know. I am not the judge, and neither are you. Neither is anyone. That's the danger. Defining what's real, Alex. Good God Almighty, what could be more dangerous than that?
It's also incredibly arrogant. You know, Media Matters and George Soros literally are in the major tech companies colluding together, which is it's total antitrust monopoly of information, not just unfair trade practices and so many other things that lawyers say is open and shut. But to have this group, the Democratic Party, in there running it all is just insane. Let's get back to why they tried to kill you in Belize, and it's all been confirmed. Now it's come out in mainstream news. The documents came out how you found out that they had jihadis coming through, and now exactly what you said is all over the news.
Well, you know, I'm outspoken and I do my own thing no matter where I am, and I unwisely did my own thing in a third world virtual dictatorship, even though they do have a voting system. It's all garbage. I ran afoul of the government, and they demanded recompense. They asked for $2 million for their election coming up, and they would leave me alone. I go, well, I'm sorry, I don't do extortion. A week later, they stormed my property, shot my dog, destroyed $500,000 worth of my property, abused me relatively, and then left. Well, I was pissed off, mostly about the dog, and I demanded an apology from the prime minister. Another foolish thing, okay? all the newspaper says McAfee, quote, demands apology from prime minister. You don't do that in third world dictatorships. But in any case, because I am who I am, I was able to donate laptops to government computers that had spyware that was almost like a virus that moved from one computer to another within the government. So pretty soon, everybody's computer was tapped. Now, I admit that's illegal, but I'm not in police now, and I broke no American laws by doing that. So I wanted to find absolute proof that they had set me up. I didn't. What I did find was that the Minister of Immigration was the largest human trafficker in all of Central America, and was responsible for selling passports to Hezbollah, where you could then go into Mexico, and from Mexico, you could take a mule across the border into America, just like everybody else. Huge business, literally.
And now it's all confirmed. John McAfee, stay there. We're going to give your websites out and more and talk about cryptocurrency. But first, ride shotgun with me because we've got huge breaking news with Jack Posobiec in T-minus 60 seconds, folks. This is huge. They're going after Don Jr.
Someone very profoundly once said many years ago that if fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.